Hello, my friends. This is Chef Andros. What I have here is my smoked ham, the smoked traditional Hiromeri of Cyprus. Hiromeri means the leg of the pig. So this is why I will be referring all the time to Hiromeri. It means Hyros is the pig and Meri is the leg. So on the according to my logbook, I have a logbook and I have every detail of the procedure that I was doing all this period of time. And this is to know at any given time that if I made any mistakes, I will correct them if possible. But the mistakes that I did, because I make mistakes as well, I fixed them very early in time. So when I started my Hiromeri, now I will turn it to all directions. Now you see that it is pressed. Right now it is less than 9 centimeters in thickness, and the reason is that I was pressing it since the time that it was in the curing salt, not the curing salt, in the salt and the marinade of red wine. All right, because I did not put any chemical substance in it other than the salt and the red wine. I used some coriander seeds to make it more tasty and smelling better. But there is no chemical in this process. This is done the traditional way. So I will turn the Hiromeri to all directions, like this and like this. And below, you can see clearly, to protect from over drying, I made some paste with the pig's fat and some rice flour, and wherever there were incisions of the knife, or there were holes or veins or whatever, I covered it with this fat spread, so that nothing can get into it. And actually, if we don't protect it, there is a danger that it will make worms inside. But hopefully it will not happen to my Hiromeri, because it was heavily salted. It was in the wine. All of these things, they kill any bacteria, so they don't allow. Now, you must have seen the videos, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4 probably. Now, this is from A to Y. Now, it is not A to Z, because Z will be in April, and I cannot show you that film now. It will come eventually. And what is left to be done? It has to, I will protect it, I will cover it with a muslin cloth, because I will hang it next to me. I will show you later. So what I will do now, I will put it in a muslin cloth that, believe it or not, I smoked it together with the Hiromeri into the smoker, so that it will work as a repellent for the insects. I don't believe that, it smells so bad for the insects, not for us. For us it smells just fine, but it smells so strong, and the pyrolytic oil, the smoke, it covered it, it made layers of smoke, and this is pyrolytic oil. If I touch it, it is oily, and my hands Probably you can see them in, I don't know, they are greasy because I was cleaning it, and I put this nice paste so that it will prevent from over drying. Now, so what I will do now, I will cover it with my muslin cloth like this and like this, and probably I will pause the video for 1 or 2 minutes, and you will see the Hiromeri ready to be hanged in my kitchen. So I will be looking after it, being feared that somebody will come and steal it. So I will continue in 1 or 2 minutes. So here we are. I will show you the Hiromeri first, and then I will put it onto the hanger. So I secured it with safety pins. Okay, I wrapped it in a muslin cloth so that nothing can get in it. On the knuckle, I put from the beginning a couple of hanging strings. Actually, these are twines. All right, so it will be hung from there, and it will have to stay for at least 6 months. I told you that in April it will be ready. So what we are looking now this Hiromeri, it started as 8.5 kilos net. In the beginning it was 10 kilos, but then I removed the skin and I removed a part of the ram steak. So finally I started it 8.5 kilos. Now before wrapping it, I put it onto the scale, and it was weighing exactly 6 kilos, which means that it lost 2.5 kilos. And I think that it will have to lose at least another 1.5 kilos, at least, I think. Now I will be checking it, and I will be watching for the hardness. All right. So I think that it will need this period. And once again, I will show you from all directions. Now this is a flat Hiromeri. It's even. It's less than 9 centimeters everywhere. Okay, and I will show you where I will hang it. Okay. So this is it. I will put the hanger into the middle of the picture, and oh, still heavy. Okay, that's the idea. Okay, so it will remain on the hanger for the next 6 months. I don't know if I see that my kitchen is hotter than I would anticipate. I might use another room to store it. But this is it. It will be hanging there. Now I will give you some details about the smoking process. I used some oak wood chips that I made into briquettes. I used cornstarch and boiling water, and I made a paste with with shavings of the oak, and I made it into pellets, okay, into briquettes. And every time I was smoking the Hiromeri, I used to fire a handful of charcoal, normal charcoal, and that was my source of fire to make the smoke. So, except the oak chips, I used almond shells, I used walnut shells, I used apple wood chips that we buy from the shops, and they are especially for those um, smokers, those American smokers. Um, but the apple is it has a very sweet flavor. So I used some apple. I used some hickory, which was from the same shop that we buy into chips. So it was not only from one kind of wood that I made my smoke, so that it will have a very special aroma. Normally, the Cypriots are using an olive hardwood, olive wood, which when they trim the olive trees, they take all of these logs and they turn it into smoke. Also, they are using the wood from the carob trees. Now, the carob trees, uh, they are indigenous in Cyprus, so they've been here for so many centuries. I haven't really seen them in other countries, but they do exist. But probably you can Google it. So it is like we say carrot, we say carob, carob with one R, carob, C-A-R-O-B, carob. And out of that carob, they make a carob syrup that I sometimes use in my food as well. And those two, also they are using some bushes. There is a bush called skinya that they use the trimmings to make a smoke for the industry in Cyprus. But I had whatever I had available, and the smell is excellent. I really like it because in the meantime, when I was making my Hiromeri, I also made some Cyprus traditional lunza. Lunza is a Cypriot longino. It's the loin of the pig, of the pork, and it's marinated in the same manner with red wine and coriander and salt, and then it is hanged to dry and be smoked. Actually, today I cut one of my longinos and I wrapped it, I cut it in pieces, in chunks, and I folded it into a cling film. And I froze it because I cannot eat the whole batch. So I will have it preserved in the deep freeze for future use. It will last me for quite a while. And probably the next time that I will use my smoker, I will be smoking my salmons. But I am waiting for the temperatures to drop, because even today it was 26 Celsius, which is a very high temperature to smoke salmon. In fact, when I smoke my salmon, the temperature outside, it has to be very close to 0 degrees Celsius. So together with the smoke and the handful of charcoal I'm using, my smoker, my oven, does not exceed the temperature of 10 Celsius. So I really want it to be cold to make a salmon. So for today, this is the Hiromeri, it will be waiting for a long time there. I will be, as you saw, I used the safety pins, which means that at any time I can open it and check it. Although I don't think that it will need a lot of checking. I will just let it rest. So I will let it dry a little bit more, and I think that it will be hard enough and it will be ready to be consumed when it will be just less than 5 kilos, maybe 4.5, 4.75. But this it will take a very long time. So until then, thank you very much for watching. I cannot give you any new update for the Hiromeri. The next update for the Hiromeri is when I will be cutting it, and it's going to be rather in April. So I don't promise you any earlier video for the Hiromeri. So I will say it very fast from start to finish. When we trim our ham, I put it in salt, and I mixed some wine into my salt and made it have the texture of snow. Okay, so I could collect it like we collect snow. So I covered my Hiromeri with this salt and the wine. I left it for about 1 week. I changed the salt because it drew some of the moisture of the meat out, and it was like a very thick brine, which I didn't like. So yeah, I made a new snow texture salt and then wine. The whole procedure, it took about 21 days, but then I was adding all the time red wine, and finally the wine was stronger than the salt. But anyway, I tried, and the taste, it was okay. So after in the last week, I started pressing it in the brine into the cure. I started placing marbles on top, and when I put it into the smoker after the 3 weeks plus, it was already flat. But every time I was smoking it for anywhere from 5 to 6 or 7 hours every time, and my logbook says that I smoked it 8 times. This is something like 40 hours, and I think that the smoke, it was enough. So after the smoking every time, these 8 times that I had it in the smoker, when I was taking out in the afternoon, I used to press it, putting a lot of weight on top. So I was putting a cold marble and then another cold marble and press it and put a lot of weight on top. So today, when I was pressing it for the last time, it had close to 30 kilos of weight, and this is why it made it completely flat in any position of the ham. It is 8.75 centimeters, which is an excellent. So when it dries completely, when it will be 7.5, it will be excellent. It will have a very a nice rectangular shape. I mean the slices, they will be rectangular, and they will be just fine. So in the meantime, we will be posting new videos for other recipes, and please be patient until April for the Hiromeri. Until then, please watch the other recipes I will be posting. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye. This is Chef Andros from Cyprus.